But it's been reported. Okay. It's been reported. But before I tell you what has been reported, we're going to take a little break. We'll be right back right after this.
And now, without further ado, the man we've all been waiting for, T-Jam D. Welcome back to the show.
Welcome back to the show. Folks, I know I probably should have cleared my throat before we came back to the show. But I didn't. But anyway, we were talking about Kyle Rittenhouse, the nasty dick face. I hate to call a teenager, I hope he's not 17 anymore. I hate to call a teenager a nasty dick face, but that's what the guy is. And here's why. My opinion is that he's a nasty little dick face boy. Here's why. Because Kyle Rittenhouse illegally obtained an AR-15, an automatic assault rifle. He obtained it. He's, that, and I don't care about the legalities, but, he shouldn't have been able to buy an AR-15 at 17. And here's the main point that makes Kyle Rittenhouse a nasty dick face. Kyle Rittenhouse, unlike every other 17-year-old boy who's concerned about getting laid and playing video games or playing sports, you know what I'm saying, or getting high, smoking weed behind the parents' back, you know what I'm saying, or getting drunk or something like that, trying to figure out a way to buy a car. Unlike every other 17-year-old boy, Kyle Rittenhouse didn't have a driver's license. Actually, his dumbass mother took him to the protest with an AR-15 strapped to his back. How many of us would take our 17-year-old who had figured out a way to illegally obtain a firearm? And not just a firearm like a pistol. You might be able to illegally obtain a firearm that's a pistol. Nobody sees it. If you have a holster and you have it on your belt and then you have a big shirt on that's not tucked in, nobody might even know you have the gun. This guy had an assault rifle strapped to his back. And we have radio DJs, personalities, saying, well, I don't think the kid meant any intent. He didn't have... Yes, he did. He wouldn't have had a fucking rifle strapped to his back if he didn't have any intent on shooting someone when he's 17. I never thought about buying a rifle. And let's make it perfectly clear, this kid is white. This is part of white privilege. No black kid is going to be able to buy an assault rifle. When they're 17, there's all kind of red flags that are going to go up if a young black teenager tries to buy an assault rifle. But a young white kid can buy an assault rifle, go to a protest, pick a fight with other white people, idiots who think he's not going to shoot me. He's not going to shoot me. You know what I'm saying? I'm white too. He's not going to shoot me. He's a jackass. This is, let's smack him upside the head with a skateboard. He's not going to shoot me. But he shot them because they were protesters. They were against George Floyd being murdered. So he didn't like that, and he took it upon himself to kill him. He went there looking to do so. That's my opinion, because he illegally obtained an AR-15. You don't go through all the trouble if you're a teenager of trying to get a gun that you shouldn't be able to purchase legally with no intent. So when this radio talk show host says, I don't think Kyle Rittenhouse had any bad intent. Yes, he did. Of course he did. He legally obtained an AR-15, an automatic assault rifle that he strapped to his back and had his mother drive him to a different state. His dumbass, dick-faced mother. His mother is a jackass. Because if my son was 17 and he was able to obtain illegally, by the way, because he's 17, if he was able to get a gun, my son was able to get a gun when he was 17, I'd be like, dude, what the hell are you doing with that gun? Why do you have that gun, and how in the fuck did you get that gun? That's what I would say to my 17-year-old. How in the hell did you get a gun? I would be questioning my 17-year-old. I wouldn't be driving him to another state. This is like participation trophies. The mother of Kyle Rittenhouse is such a jackass, such a dick face herself, that she just drove her son. He got him an assault rifle. She knew that it couldn't have been legal because he was 17 and not. It's like buying alcohol when you're 17. You can't do it. It's illegal for a person who's under 18 to buy alcohol. It's most states you got to be 21. You can't just buy a firearm when you're 17, but Kyle Rittenhouse was able to do it. He was able to do it. And we got people downplaying it. And that is the issue in this country. And I've been saying that for a long time. That not when Coca-Cola or one of these major corporations gives sensitivity training that goes overboard. Okay, they go overboard because they're afraid of something. They're afraid of losing money. They're afraid of getting sued. They're afraid of getting in the media for racial incidents. Racial incidents. They're afraid of that. That's not this. That's not this. This is what we're talking about is a young man who was able to illegally obtain an automatic assault rifle, strap it to his back, go somewhere where he knew there was something going on that he didn't agree with, pick a fight with protesters, and when they attacked him, he'd shoot them. He had the rifle on his back, so he already was confident that he could say whatever he wanted to say. And they wouldn't be able to do anything about it because he's got a rifle on his back. They could clearly see the guy had a gun. But that's why he killed two white guys, because no black person is going to approach a white person with an automatic rifle strapped to their back talking shit. You're not going to approach him. These white guys, for some reason, thought that their privilege went a lot further than it actually does. They didn't think this guy would shoot him. He did. I heard one guy smacked him upside the head with a skateboard. If you're going to smack him upside the head with a skateboard and he still has a gun in his hand, that's stupid. That's stupid. If you're not smacking him hard enough to knock him out, it's stupid. The guy has a rifle. An AR-15 is the choice weapon for mass shooters. Kyle Rittenhouse wasn't a mass shooter, not considered a mass shooter. But my point is, AR-15s is the gun of choice for a lot of these kids or people, some of them adults, who go to schools or public places and shoot up the place. Usually they have an AR-15. So this is the choice for these weirdos, okay, lunatics who like to shoot up places. And this is the gun that Kyle Rittenhouse had, an AR-15. Kyle Rittenhouse had him an AR-15 that he illegally obtained, and he was congratulated by the cops. He showed up at the protests, and they had video of him having conversations with cops. They was basically congratulating him. This is before he shot anyone. He was congratulated more after he shot people, killed people. The cops let him go home. They picked him up later after charges were filed. After charges were brought against Kyle Rittenhouse, they picked him up later. But he was able to come to Kenosha, Wisconsin with an illegally obtained AR-15 strapped to his back, pick a fight with protesters, get attacked by protesters, and then shoot protesters, and then go home. I mean, he actually came up there, shot 2 people, murdered them, and then went home. And then you got a DJ, a radio personality, saying well, I don't think he had any bad intent. Yeah, sure he did. Why would he have an AR-15 strapped to his back if he didn't have any bad intent? I mean, this is the kind of nonsense that we hear. This is the kind of bullshit. I mean, this is unprecedented that a 17-year-old boy can buy an AR-15. I don't know how that happened, but it happened. Then he can go to a protest where people are protesting a murder by the police. Unjustifiable murder by the police. They're protesting. These protests happened all over the world. It wasn't centralized. It wasn't something that was just going on in that neighborhood. Okay, this protest was mostly white people, from what I've seen, and all over the world. It was going on. Protests were going on at that time. So you can say, oh, well, black people were... No. The world was protesting. Kyle Rittenhouse apparently didn't appreciate it, didn't agree with it, bought an AR-15, had his mother drive him to another state, to Wisconsin. This kid was from Illinois. He had his mother drive him to Wisconsin so he could murder someone. 2 people, not just one. He didn't murder just one guy. He murdered 2 people. And you want to come on the radio and say, I don't think he had any malicious intent. Sure, he had malicious intent. He's a 17-year-old. He's not doing what 17-year-olds usually do. He's illegally purchasing an assault rifle. Why would you downplay that and say he's not having any bad intent? Of course he is. You don't purchase an assault rifle unless you have some intent on using it, especially when you're 17. You can't get that